Hey, thanks for dropping by to the Planners on Purpose podcast, created by Naomi Tucker, CMP. Now, this space is for the event planners to encourage and empower you so that you can fully live your life on purpose. So before we dig in, please take a moment to subscribe so you get future shows. Now, here she comes, your host, Naomi.
Well, hello, this is Naomi Tucker with the Planners on Purpose podcast. Looking forward to talking to you today all about how we can reduce attendee stress at your event. We talk a lot on this podcast about how you can reduce your stress as an event planner. However, ensuring that your attendees' needs are met can help you not have as much stress when you're on site. Think about it. If attendees feel comfortable, if they feel taken care of and they feel relaxed, then they are at their best for learning, for networking, and they are happier, which means that they have minimal complaints, and that means that you can have a little bit more ease as a planner on site. So before I jump into it, I wanted to just give you a little bit about me. My name is Naomi Tucker. I'm a strategic events consultant and coach here to empower you to stress less and live more and lead a life you love and be a planner on purpose. And I'm excited for you to be here. If you're new or if you've been here for a while, I just want to say welcome. So I wanted to share you some ways that you can reduce your attendee stress at your event. And think of it like some ideas that you can implement. It isn't necessary for you to implement all of these, but making sure that you have attendee stress and well-being at the top of your mind when you're planning your event can be super helpful. So I hope you're ready. Let's dig in. The first tip I have for you on how you can reduce attendee stress at your event is to build in some longer breaks. Incorporating longer breaks at events can be helpful on so many levels, especially if you have a large event. Longer breaks can allow for attendees to do things that they need to do, like go to their room or have a longer restroom break if they can, and also have networking conversations about the information that they just had. Especially with larger groups, having a 30-minute break in between sessions can feel like you're not rushed. Now, again, this depends on the nature of the group. Not all groups will benefit from having a long break like this, especially if long breaks are going to mean that attendees will get restless and end up ditching out on your event. We do not want that. So you have to plan it wisely and keep your event goals in mind, keep your event culture in mind, and your attendees in mind. But having a longer break can be very helpful. Find some ways to give them some more space. If you're concerned about attendees leaving the event, perhaps you can build in some light entertainment while they're taking their break. Maybe incorporating some musical elements or maybe even some pet therapy. I love pet therapy, just seeing those cute dogs at events that you can pet and you can hold. That's just so uplifting, and it really has been shown to increase the dopamine levels in your attendees and thus helping them to just be more comfortable and being less stressed. A unique spin on a refreshment food break can help people conversate while they're enjoying a refreshment. That can help pass the time quickly as well. You can also do some things like incorporate mobile app functionality into this as they're taking their breaks. Maybe they can have a virtual scavenger hunt that they're doing, or perhaps participate in some polling fun that you set up for the group, or have a networking game to keep people engaged while they are having their break. There are so many ideas that you can do, but giving them a little bit more space interlaced with some entertainment can really be beneficial for your event. Now, speaking of networking with getting people engaged, that is my next tip, is to encourage networking. This is an area that can also be attributed to wellness at an event. Because when it comes to professional development, it's known that you want to surround yourself with people that are perhaps a bit like you, that they're on your same level in terms of thought and just alignment, or perhaps they're a bit ahead of you, maybe people that are modeling somewhere that you want to be, and also people that you are able to mentor as well. There are so many different levels that can happen at an event, and as an event professional, allowing opportunities for people to network effectively, it really can be an art. And this can happen in many different ways. So as I mentioned, you can use mobile technology to connect people differently. Maybe you can do speed networking that you do during a break time, or perhaps at the beginning of an event, or in a lunch session. You can choose where you would have that. You can also do something like table topics, or have some type of roundtable discussions that are happening during a meal. Receptions also can provide a natural networking opportunity before dinners, or even before a nice luncheon. The point here is to think about how people will make connections at your event and make a pathway for it. Meeting new people helps to expand networks, and that can lead to opportunity. It can lead to growth, advancement, and even monetary growth for your attendees. When we are able to be in a state of expansion, it's a natural confidence builder, and it will make your attendees feel valued, feel confident, and be able. And that makes a tremendous impact on combating stress. Now, the next step I have for you with helping to keep your attendees' stress levels down is to create convenience for your attendees. Now, it's always nice to see when subtle conveniences are thought through at events. When you think about it, people are leaving the comfort of their homes, their children, their friends, or their family to come to your event. Many times, it can be pretty inconvenient to travel. It can be inconvenient to make all the arrangements that they need to make in order to just be at your event. Just me thinking about when I travel, there are certain conveniences that I enjoy and I would love to have with me everywhere. Like, for example, I love to drink ginger tea here and there, and ginger tea isn't always at events when they do offer tea, especially at night. This is one of my go-to beverages before I go to bed. I also love to have water whenever possible. So I always have my water bottle with me, and I love to be able to refill it at my convenience. And I like to have access to healthy fruits and veggies where I can. When they're available, it's nice because I know that I can actually partake in eating healthy. It forces me to eat healthy. And the internet is a must. It's nice to have the internet to be connected on the go. So you can see how all these little needs, they can really stack up. And when you multiply that by all the attendees at your event, you could see how convenience is a huge factor in keeping your attendees' stress levels down. So although you can't meet every need of every attendee at your event, you can get pretty close to the point where attendees just feel cared for. Now, of course, if they absolutely need things, they will bring them. It's kind of like I bring the things that I enjoy with me when I travel. However, things like access to filtered water during an event can provide a subtle convenience that many don't know they are looking for. Some other things that you can think about are a tech charging station while at an event, especially if it's a large conference and it's really hard to find places to plug in. Or on another side, perhaps having a tech-free zone where attendees can just engage in conversation without people staring at their phones. Having healthy options in terms of food available is also a plus and a convenience for those that are just looking not to slip up on their good habits that they built up while not traveling. These are all conveniences that you can put in place for your event to make attendees comfortable, thus decreasing their stress levels. Now, the next tip I have for you is all about rest. It's providing rest opportunities at your event for your attendees. Speaking of conveniences, having areas of rest is so crucial, and there are many things that you can do in order to incorporate of the rest factor in your event. For example, you can have things like relaxation zones with comfortable seating available, or for larger events, you can have rest pods or relaxation or meditation rooms that are equipped with meditative music and sounds to relax the mind and the body. I've seen massage chairs available in these rooms too. Some other ways you can incorporate rest and decrease stress is to have things like express spa services specially crafted for your event, especially when you know that attendees won't have as much time in your event, but they can go in and get a real quick, simple 15-minute massage. Things like that can really help attendees feel like they have been filled up while coming to your event. So find ways to incorporate rest. All right, the next tip I have for you is to give space for physical movement. Get your attendees moving. And you can do this through having your event in an area that maybe even has some walking areas or walking trails nearby. Have some light exercise classes that are offered specifically to your members of your group. Think of classes like yoga in the mornings that can help stretch the body out and wake the body up, or perhaps a light stretching session in the middle of the day in your event to get the dopamine levels up. You can also do some Zumba or some speed walk or a 5K or outdoor activity or team sport if your meeting allows it. There's so many different areas that you can incorporate physical movement. Now, again, just think from an active attendee standpoint and consider if, as an active attendee, you wanted to be active, how can you be active at your event? That's going to be a great place for you to start to think of how you can drum up some of these ideas. Put yourself in your attendee's shoes and understand what they would want to do. What does the area call for? How can you incorporate a local feel and flair for some of the physical movement activities that you're planning for the event? Have fun with it. Now, lastly, is create healthy opportunities and healthy food opportunities. Do you know that dark chocolate can relieve stress? It does. It sure does. For me, I think any kind of chocolate can relieve stress. I feel like I have a lot of proof for that, but I digress. There are certain foods that can decrease stress. Things like oatmeal, salmon, asparagus, and lots of berries. Perhaps even think about some of the teas that are offered at your event. Herbal teas, chamomile, that's a nice one to do after dinner. Think about these types of foods that can help attribute to healthy, stress-free attendees, thus healthy, stress-free events. In addition to those options, we need to understand that if we eat healthy, we are more prone to not have stress. So bringing as many fruits and veggies into the world of our attendee, it goes a long way. So perhaps do juicing in the morning somehow, smoothies, maybe even incorporate fruits and veggie platters. And sometimes whole fruit can be very nice too, and a little bit more sustainable than if you were to have platters of cut fruit. And you can have cute small fruits too that can be used, like mandarin oranges or petite bananas, so that they can be great for grab and go. These are all ideas to help your attendees reduce stress, because when they stress less, then you can breathe more. So what did you think about this list? I hope that it helped spearhead the ideas on your end, and now you're ready to make those plans happen. I thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, stay on purpose.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, hit the like button and tell us how much you enjoyed the show by leaving a message in the comments. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.